is a very, very important day. I think this is a day we need to be glad about, and this is a day that's going to go down in history books because you don't see stuff like this happening all the time. You don't see a group of people or a conglomerate of people coming together and showing you, educating, and empowering you on how you can get yourself to residual income. So before we get there, before we get into the stew, before we get the sauce from I won't even finish it off. I'll wait till we do the edification, the Eddie, I like to call it. What I'll say is, first, family, can we go ahead and drop in the chat what we're grateful for? Please, let's go ahead in the chat and drop what we're grateful for. Because one of my mentors, Mr. Zion Latham, the original 5K, I like to call it at this point, because we don't talk about the old, we're in with the new now. Said your gratitude will determine your altitude. And I think stuff like that is super important. So can we go ahead and drop what we're grateful for? And I won't be here too long because, of course, I got to pass it off to a goat. We got to go on the back line. And trust me, she's got things to do, places to be, and millions to make. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to take too much of you guys' time and her time. God, family, community, another day of life. All right. Samaya, I know you're driving. Shout out to Samaya. The one, the only. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. I won't take up too much of y'all time. All right, family. Of course, my name is Kadus Musa. I'm a 5-year digital entrepreneur here. One of DT Bolden drop Desire to Succeed. Sounds very DT Bolden-ish, not gonna lie. Yeah. Of course, my name is Kadus Musa. I'm a 5-year digital entrepreneur. One of Fire's upcoming leaders, exec here very soon. QZEC. That's a hashtag y'all should throw on Instagram. I'm not gonna lie. I'm loving that one. And I think that this call is going to be one of those ones. I think that this call is going to be one of the ones that you don't just want to take your notes out for. You want to take this information and actually go apply this information. Let it actually work in your life, and let it actually really take the information and now go apply it. Because who's about to talk about this information is somebody that's doing this, applying it at a high level. Now, I want y'all to understand that for her to take her time out to come and do this, the least that we can do is be engaged, apply, and participate when she's asking us specific things. I want y'all to understand the Tia Bolden is on this call. You got to understand, Mr. Mark Sanders, our most recent, within the last 48 hours, is on this call. Miss Samaya, Structured Samaya, is on this call. Please understand that the specific individuals on this call that are doing this on a high level, that's paying attention to the people that are going to start to pave the way. They're paving the way for the aspiring ones. So the information that's on this call, this is going to be that sign. Tia says every single thing that she does is a test. I very much believe it's a test. And who's going to get the 100? Who's going to get the 0? Trust me, there's no in between. There's no nothing. You're either going to get that 100 or you're going to get that 0. And today, I feel like we're going to talk about 100. So to be honest, let's introduce not only one of the greatest in the game, one of the GOATs, but somebody that's near and dear to my heart, because every single time that I ask this woman anything, she has a very educated answer. I just learned yesterday, I'm not even going to lie, I'm not going to talk for too long. I just learned a homogram. I don't even know. Like, I need y'all to understand. Like, do y'all understand that there's not mentors walking around teaching y'all how to, like, have speech? There's not mentors walking around teaching what it is that DT Bolden is teaching. So I want y'all to understand, this is a retired NASA engineer. This is somebody that's done a lot in this space, impacted thousands of lives. And the information that's going to be talked about on this call, we definitely want to make sure that we're in position and we're definitely taking notes and applying this information, because this is what's going to take us next level. I'm not going to lie. You know, Tia, I could go on and on and on about the things that you've done for me and people that's within this space. But I just know that once people get this information, it's going to be the things that's going to come from it that's going to be the most important. All right, Tia, thank you. And please take it away, because I know the information that you're going to talk about is going to take everybody on this call next level. Love you, Tia. Let's get it.
I love you more, bro. Can we put some hearts in the chat box for Q? One thing Q would always do is bring the right amount of energy, intensity, and passion towards what we have our hands on. That's one of my favorite things about him. I never have low energy with Q around. I never have doubts or lack of confidence with Q around. And he said something about homographs and me teaching English, which is pretty funny because a homograph is a word that is spelled the same but has two different meanings. And one of my favorite ones is the word bank, because bank could be a financial institution or it could be to rely on somebody. And if it was time to go to war, I know that I could bank on Q. I know that I could bank on his edification, bank on him showing up, and bank on his presence in this family at any moment in a given time. And more presently, I know that he's going to the bank as well. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being a part of this family. Thank you for everybody who tapped in today. Rod, today is really about you, bro. One thing that I've learned inside of this industry, and when Q asked what we're thankful for, I said the desire to succeed because I didn't always have the desire. There were some days I was like, oh, just another day. Here we go. Now, I didn't always want to get up out of bed. I didn't always want to become better. So every morning I get up with the desire to become better. I thank God for the desire to keep going because I don't know about you all, but I didn't always have it. So for the people who always have it, shout out to y'all, but I wasn't always there. And I'm thankful to be at a point now where every single day I wake up, I have purpose, I have reason, I have desire, and people to keep going for it. That really means a lot to me. One thing I've learned in this industry is you can pay for the skill, but not the will. And I don't know who that was for, but you can buy the skill set, you can buy the courses, you can buy the online classes, but you cannot buy the want to do this. You cannot buy the desire to get better. You cannot buy the passion to keep going. But one person who has it is Rod. Rod, I know that you have desire because you text me about trades before I even see the trade. Y'all know when people hit you up about a trade before the trade comes out? That's Rod. You tell me what's going on the scanner, and I don't even have my scanners out. I'm sitting on the beach in Barbados chilling. And he said, yo, you see US 30? I said, I said, what's it doing, Rod? He said, blessing. I said, and it's just that level of desire. I love it because essentially you want people who want this more than you. And when you find that, you don't sleep on it. You don't take that lightly. And all the leaders on this call, the Marks, Samayas, Q's, Vanities, y'all know when you see people that want to do this, that want to make it happen, you make sure they got what they need. So I put this call together just to show you a little bit about some additional bread. I know you get to the money on. I know you on your way to vacation in Orlando and you're gonna bring me back a prize. Thank you. But before you get there, we want to have a quick chat about residual income. And the first thing I want to say is that residuals are simply something that you do correctly one time and it continues to pay you. So drop a one if you know we all have residual bills. We signed that paper one time, and every month they seem to get us. And if you have an Apple phone, it feels like they get you twice a month. Whether it's your, whether it's your, what are they be taking out? Apple. I saw a post today. It said, "Dang, Apple charges for the storage, the music, and the Apple." I was like, "Yo, who's winning? Apple?" Like, but if you know, you know that's a residual bills. And when I started paying bills when I was about maybe 21, 22 years old, I asked my dad. I said, "Dad, I don't like paying bills. Like adulting is ghetto. I don't want to do this." And he said, well, Tia, you need a stream of income to offset every bill. And I don't know why, but something clicked in my head that I needed to up the score. I realized that I had money. I was making six figures in NASA, but I could be making a little bit more. And drop a two if you understand where you are right now. You could just make a little bit more money. That's where I was. So I want to introduce you all to residual income. What we're going to cover today, really briefly, is number one, the scholarship program, how to get the monthly waived. Number two, how the compensation plan works, just what it looks like for people who may not have ever seen it. Number three, how to become an affiliate, what that process looks like. And lastly, number four, some action steps to help you be a sufficient affiliate. So let's get right into it. Y'all know I always strive to be effective and not eternal. Now, the scholarship. And one thing I want to talk about deeply in terms of the scholarship, we know that we're paying a monthly investment. For some of us, it's like, yo, I got this extra monthly, but I trade enough to cover it, so I'm good. Rod, you're probably in a situation where you're trading very well consistently on a weekly basis to where the monthly may not be much of a factor for you. Some people, they say, hey, I got a lot of bills right now. I could do without the monthly. So they want to do what we call four and no more. Like every educational system in the entire world, we have a scholarship program. We went to school, Rod. I think you played football. You played football. You kind of give football. You look football-y. Whatever sport we played, it gave us a scholarship to cover the majority of our tuition. Some people had academic, some people had athletic. Here we call our scholarship four and no more. Basically, you have four active individuals who say, I want to do this with you. I want to learn this with you. I want to see what's going on. They say yes. and your monthly is now waived. And the biggest thing I want you all to understand about Four and No More, you don't have to know it all to put people in position. Drop a one if that makes sense. Because one of the biggest limiting beliefs when it comes to the scholarship program is I got to be the best trader in the world for somebody to want to do it with me. I got to have taken $1,000 out of the market for my homeboys to want to get it. And I'm going to be honest with you all, I used to think that way. I told myself, dang, when I get started, once I run up this bag, everybody going to want to do it. And y'all know what happened? I ran up the bag and people still gave me excuses on why they didn't want to do it. I said, dang. So it works best to find the people who have the desire. Because if you're waiting on people to see you run it up and then believe in you, they will literally watch you run it up and give you another excuse. Let me just be the first to tell you. I literally made six figures in this, and the people close to me still didn't start. My father didn't begin until I was a six-figure earner. My mom didn't begin until Bitcoin hit 100K. Like, so please don't feel bad when the people around you don't see it right away. You can ask Q. Sometimes you have to run up the bag with strangers for the people you know to appreciate it. And it's okay. Because I realize in this industry that I can make more money with people I don't know than with people I've known my whole life. And it's not too shocking because think about it. The people you know your whole life, if they were going to make you rich, wouldn't you be rich? So it's kind of a hard truth that we have to accept. But once we accept it, we can move forward in the right fashion. Three questions I ask people that I always want to know. Number one, do you have enough money right now to cover the monthly investment for 6 to 12 months comfortably? You don't have to put that in the chat box, just let it be rhetorical. Number two, if not, would waiving the tuition be beneficial to you today? Okay. Three, if so, could an additional $1,000 a month help you with your trading or your ability to create trading results? Just three questions that kind of help you understand where you are in terms of the scholarship, which leads me to our core levels. Okay, so we have 3 tier levels when you first get started. The first one is called executive. I actually need to change waiver to executive on here. Four and no more is our executive level. That means four people say yes, you're no longer paying the monthly investment, but you do keep access to your products, services, and tools. And I don't have any issue with four and no more because I know some people just want to learn for free. That's perfectly fine. And if that's how far you want to go with this compensation plan, let that be your roof. But there's some people who say, wait, if I can get four, I can get eight. If I can get eight, I can get 12. If I can get 12, I can get 24. There's something about that numerical mind, something about that trading mind. For my people who trade, you know for a fact that once you hit a resistance level, what does it become? A new support. For some reason, about when we get to the top, we start to see things like, okay, what else can I do? Okay, can I go higher? Rod, you're Greek, and you have a lot of stature from our university. So once you did something well, once you graduated, you're like, dang, what now? Where do I go next? I know you have an ambitious mindset because you're on the way to vacation. If you were comfortable, you'd say, oh, I could just sit here at the house. But you said, nah, I'm gonna go to Orlando. And once you go to Orlando, guess what you're gonna say? Dang, where am I gonna go next? It's something about our complex that just doesn't settle in one place with where we are. We have that desire for more. And that's why I love this compensation plan so much. For my people who knock out four and no more, they usually go on to work towards silver. They start to see that PS3's three-way conversations and leverage got them four people. If they double their efforts, they can work towards silver executive. Silver executives make $700 a month, an extra 175 every week. So instead of paying the monthly, you get paid it weekly. Instead of coming out of your pocket once every 30 days, we come into your pockets every 7 days. And Mark Sanders, y'all can see him with the camera set up. He's actually running a training right now. I see him running a training right now. But he actually just knocked out the level of silver executive. And special shout out to Mark because I watched him grind and hustle to make this level happen. But I also watched him not get complacent. I also watched him not get comfortable. I also watched him push higher than he ever has before to make it happen. And I realized for me that this is now his floor. What once seemed like his ceiling yesterday, if you talked to Mark, he probably would have been like, I gotta smack silver, I gotta knock out silver, I need it. And then you talk to him today, he said, oh yeah, silver's a wrap. $700 a month, that's done. That's in the bag. How many people can I now get to silver? So what he did after he knocked out the impact of 14 individuals, he decided, you know what? If I can bless 14, I can go for 30. If I can impact 14, I can help 30 as well. If I can make $700 a month, 1,000 won't be that difficult either. So the question I want to ask you all as we look at our core levels and our blueprint to platinum, what would an extra $1,000 a month do for you? And drop it for me in the chat box. What would an extra $1,000, an extra 250 every single Friday do for you? Would it help you with groceries? Would it help you with bills, consolidating debt, planning for your next vacation, putting things in place for Christmas gifts, back to school? What would an extra $1,000 a month do for you? And I'll give a moment for us to drop. Somebody said all of that. Gas money, okay. Whichever gas you invest in, money for that, yes. Daycare bills. Talk to me. We got parents on the call? Because I was talking to some parents the other day, and every time I talk to parents, they say having kids is like having money that never stops going. But literally, I was talking, they were like, it's always something to pay for. It's always a new daycare, a new toy, a new this. They said having kids. Oh, somebody said nephews too. Talk to me, TTs. We got TTs on the call. Daycare is $1,900 a month. Oh Lord, I might stay at TT. All right. If daycare is 1,900 a month, I got to work a little harder. Y'all didn't tell me that one. Why y'all didn't tell me daycare was $1,900 a month? Because y'all don't have kids. But anyways, okay. So if daycare is $1,900 a month, not only do I need residuals, not only do I need gold, I might have to take it an extra level to platinum. But I do know that an extra $1,000 a month with the way that Rod trades in this market, with the way that Rod finds setups on US 30 and Nas 100. Are you still with Nas 100 or y'all broke up again? Y'all back cool? I don't know. Every week Rod be like, I'm off Nas. All right, I'm back. So I don't, so I don't know which one it is, but whichever one it is this week, I know you're getting paid because that drop today actually was crazy. But I know for a fact that we all have bills that we can consolidate with this compensation plan. It's just about understanding how it can work for us. So this leads me to our comp plan. One thing I love about our comp plan is that it's in a two-leg structure. That means you literally have two sides. If you thought about the Twin Towers, you literally are building just two. So when we talk about the level of gold executive, when we talk about the level of silver executive, yes, it's 14 people, but you need seven in your first leg, seven in your second. How many people do you need to achieve silver executive? Talk to me in the chat box. I want to make this make sense. I don't want to assume that we've seen it before, or even if we have, I want to make sure that it's clear for every single one of us so that we know what we're working towards. Samaya B said 14. Rod Dodd said 14. Van said 14 tomorrow. 14 tomorrow. And I would ask Mark how many it is, but he gonna say Tia, that was yesterday's goal. So, anyways, 14 people are required to knock out silver executive. And for anybody who's like, that seems like a lot, I don't know if it can be done. You're on the call with three people who have done it. So let me be the first to tell you, not only can it be done, it can be done by people who look like you, talk like you. If you look at Samaya, dance like you. And also these people are working right now. Okay, a lot of people say, it's hard to do that mentorship thing while I'm working full time. It's hard to make this happen while I have obligations. Let me be the first to tell you, I see the greatest sacrifice in this business from people who work. For some reason, that desire on the clock, it just is different. It's that I gotta find a way. I gotta get it out the mud. I'm not doing this much longer. I'm tired of listening to somebody else's rules. I want to take my lunch break when I want to. I want to get up and go. PTO doesn't control me. It's something about that at the work hustle. It's different. Y'all want to know when I was my best in this industry? And I'll be honest, when I was at my tip top highest form, I kid y'all not, is when I was working. When I like I'm a decent, I'm about a 75% beast now. But when I was working at NASA, I was like 112% beast. Like there literally, I kid y'all not, I would sneak to the bathroom to one PS3s. I would sneak to my car on my lunch break to help people get onboarded. I would rush home after work to run the webinar and literally do three ways and run trainings and close until 11 o'clock at night, go to sleep, get back up at 7 o'clock because I had some people that needed help before work. I was in the most hustle when I was working. They have a thing called RNS. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it happens. And I hope that y'all don't get it. But if y'all do get it, I'll be the first to understand because when you start getting money, it does something to you. But that is silver executive. I done got way off my point. That is silver executive, okay? Gold executive. For gold executive, you need 15 people in one leg, 15 in another. 30 total, and you're making how much a month? Talk to me in the chat box. How much are you making a month at gold executive? Y'all aren't laughing at my jokes in the chat box, so I'm going to hope either you're driving or maybe I'm not that funny. It's all right. It's all right. I had a vanilla espresso, so I'm here now. I'm here. 1K a month. Samaya, how did you know that gold executives make 1K a month? Oh, wait. Somebody's a gold executive. That might be how she's aware. Oh, come on, Van. And I want you all to understand. Let's just put this in perspective. Samaya is a gold executive. Mark is in her organization. What level is Mark? Let me just make this make sense for a numbers perspective, really quick. Talk to me in the chat box. Let me hear from Q, from Rod. I know Mark is doing a call. Okay, Vanity says silver. Really fast. How many people minimum is a silver executive impact? Now, I just want to make this make sense really quick. I may have to get on the whiteboard. But if the silver executive is impacting 14 lives and Mark is in her organization and she needs 15 and 15 to go gold executive, drop a one if you're picking up what I'm putting down here. It's easier to see success when you're creating success. Could Samaya go out and get 30 people herself? Of course. But is it a little more fun for Samaya to take Mark with her? And they both run the bag up? They both expose what we have our hands on? They both give a solution to a city that needs help right now? They both show that this investing thing is doing something for them. And now we're doing this in a group setting. I really want to shout out St. Louis real quick. Can I shout y'all out or no? Okay. Somebody said I can shout them out real quick. I'm gonna do a quick intermission to shout them out. But St. Louis did something special today. Van, if you don't know this, you'll be the first to know. But St. Louis did something a little bit special. And I just want to show y'all the importance of doing this as a group. My favorite thing about the compensation plan is you don't have to do it alone. St. Louis said, we see out there in France, they're linking up at the cafeteria every single day, posting up and letting people just come get the help they need. So they came together, made an investment into their organization, and developed the first ever Invest St. Louis headquarters, their own co-working space here in St. Louis, Missouri. I know that it eats because I'm here right now. Free coffee, free snacks, free Wi-Fi, 7 days a week, just for their squad to come and have a place to get better together. People can pull up and learn trading. People can pull up and learn the business. People can pull up and listen to phone calls. You see, I'm running the Zoom and run one room. Mark's running across the hall. Somebody's looking at me about to open her link for one as well. It's a collaborative space where everybody can grow. Content creation, come on now, podcasts. And it gives you the protectiveness of not having to do things at your own home. Safety. Let's come on. We need safety as well. And literally making this exclusive for people who are part of the mentorship. Imagine people whose environment at home is not the most positive place. Maybe your family members are arguing or yelling at you for being on the calls on it. I know when I was home for Thanksgiving break, my family said, Tia, you're gonna be yelling on Zoom today. I said, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. When y'all yell on the phones with y'all best friends, I don't complain. But sometimes we need a better environment. Okay? So drop a three if you see power in having something like this and doing this together. That's the importance of what we have our hands on here inside of this organization. As the levels continue to increase, okay, platinum executives are impacting 80 lives, 40 on the first leg, 40 on the second. Currently, myself and Mr. Zion Latham are platinum executives. We love it here. Hey, doing the work and serving the people as best we can. Somebody said in the residuals paid for it. Talk to me. Okay. The next level after that is elite executives. Shout out to J.A. Wall and Neno Torres, both of our elite executives inside of Alpha Society, impacting 250 lives total. 125 on the first leg and 125 on the second. Now, the level of director, drop a 7 in the chat box, because the level of director is when you are now a six-figure earner inside of this entity. Okay, elite executives make $5,000 a month, $1,250 every week. Platinum executives make $2,000 a month, $500 every week. But directors make $10,000 a month, $2,500 every single week. So, Rob, when you said that daycare is $1,900 a month, directors are making that and some every single Friday, simply by impacting 250 lives on the first leg and 250 on the second. Drop a two if this is making some sense, because I want you to understand you don't have to run this up alone. You have mentorship in place that's going to help you and assist you along the way. This is just to help you understand what's happening in our compensation plan. And I want you all to know from this screen is that it only gets greater. Okay, drop a three if you understand it only gets greater from here. I want to focus in really quickly on just the max amount per leg. So if you look currently here, I just want you to focus on the max amount that can be made per leg. Because a lot of times, a lot of numbers can be like, whoa, what is all of this? What am I looking at? Okay, so let's focus on the max amount per leg. The max weekly payout. Do we see that as these numbers increase, there are individuals inside of this entity making Six figures on a weekly recurring basis. I just want to expand your mind to what's possible. A lot of times, our first day of work, they said, hey, the salary you're making right now, that's what it's going to be for the next 4 years. But here we say, yeah, this is what you're making now, but here's what's possible if this continues to work, not only for you, but for those around you as well. My favorite artist, J. Cole, he said, what good is first class if your people aren't able to sit? Y'all realize that everybody wants to run it up, but nobody wants to do it by themselves? I've never heard a wealthy person say, yep, I did it all by myself, got here by myself, and now I'm sitting here making it by myself. There's nothing fun about that. When I go on the jet ride, I want to have my people with me. I want to listen to Drake. I want to stand on the front and say, we in Miami. I want to have a good time together. I want to yell to the top of my lungs, screaming something about you on a pier, having a blast with my people. Literally, I've already seen this vision. So I want y'all to know I've already envisioned this. But I don't envision being wealthy by myself. That doesn't sound cool. There's nothing about that. That's cool. Y'all notice like everybody wants to have a big following and big influence, but at some point you have to run it up to get there. So that's basically what we have our hands on. I just wanted to give a touch on that. Drop a three if you're with me, if everything's making sense so far. We're about 80% of the way through this. There are just about two or three other things I need to show you all. The next step from here is kind of making the decision to become an affiliate. And when you become an affiliate, of course, everybody on here has an active package. That's already taken care of. Drop a one if you're good there. So that's step one. The next thing I would encourage in making this work and getting this understanding is mastering the perfect invite. The perfect invite literally helps you understand that less is more, helps you not talk too much, not give too much at the beginning, but just enough to get people exposed and in front of the information. Next step from there, of course, is mastering edification, how to speak highly of what we have our hands on, how to speak positively about this entity without saying too much. I know in the beginning, I used to want to tell people all the products and all the services when we first met, and it's like, Tia, that's what the presentation is for. That's what the 9 p.m. is for. One thing that Matt said yesterday, he said, you're the movie preview, not the movie. You're the trailer, not the scenes. So once we get accustomed to the fact that we're just exposing, creating the light, drop a one if you've ever seen a movie preview. And once it finishes, you're like, dang, I gotta go see that. Oh, I need to see this movie. Oh my goodness. Like it opens your mind. That's simply all we're doing with our perfect invite and our edification. The last skill I need you all to understand as an affiliate is the art of PS3. Drop a three in the chat box if PS3 has ever helped you. Let's say, for example, my name is Rod, and Rod has been doing this trading thing, but he's not able to answer all the questions in the trading world just yet. If somebody hit him with a question about, I don't know, a concept that he's not familiar with, he may feel a little bit stumped. So PS3 says, you know what, Rod, when somebody wants to know more about this, bring them to me. Bring them to an expert. Bring them to somebody who's been doing this for 8 or 9 years. And it's not to undermine what Rod is saying, but a lot of times the people who know Rod can only hear Rod as the person they've known him as. Oh, yeah, that's my boy. We used to hoop together back in the day. So when Rod starts saying, yeah, I'm making this money in the market, I'm an investor, I'm doing these great things for my future, it's like, bro, you still Rod that used to hoop, dog. Like, for some reason, people cannot get past the mental capacity of where they met you. So what Rod will do is say, you know what, bro? I know we used to hoop together, but I want to connect you with my mentor. This is Tia, and he's going to use edification to speak highly of. She's somebody that I met in school. She's always been a go-getter, hard worker. She actually went to NASA. She got there and said, you know what? I want to work for myself. Left NASA, and now she does this full time. She's been helping me for a couple months. I know for a fact she can do the same for you. Now, homeboy from the gym is looking at me like, whoa, who is this? So not only is Rod my homeboy I used to hoop with, Rod is the plug. It's like, dang, Rod done put me in contact with somebody getting some bread. Dang. And what I'm gonna do, the first thing I'm gonna do when I talk to this person is edify Rod. Yo, what's up, bro? I'm so glad that Rob put us together. I know that y'all met in a basketball setting, but I want you to know that he's dunking in different ways now. He's smashing profits on top of these markets every single day. And the Rod you knew is not the Rod I know. But I know for a fact that I can assist you because y'all come from the same background. And utilizing the PS3 method, that's how we're going to get that person into Rod's business. Drop an R in the chat box if this makes sense. Every time you use the alliteration. Q, I'm gonna take you to English class because you're catching on to my speaking, and I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know if I like it or not. This making sense? I just want to make it make sense for us. Okay? So let's talk about some action steps. First thing I want us to do is to create a list of 100, okay? 25 people who you respect, that you look up to, that you feel would do very well with this. 25 people who respect you. These may be people who you mentored back in the day. Maybe you're coaching football, a couple of the parents who are, a part of what's going on right now. People who respect you maybe in church, maybe in the community, maybe in your neighborhood, maybe coworkers who are impressed by how well you show up every single day. People who simply respect your influence, okay? 25 people who need additional income. I think we all know 25 people who need additional income. The last person who asked you for some money, the last person who needed a little help, the last person who said, I'm tired of my job, I'm sick of doing the same thing every day. 25 of those people. And then 25 flat tire friends. This is a big one. These are the people, if you're on the side of the road stuck, the first ones that you call. Family members, the acquaintances, the ones who you hit up when you need that Christmas gift, or when you want something on Amazon or something sitting in the cart. Those people, okay? And just make that list so you have an area to start. Because what we're going to teach you is how to invite them, how to get them exposed, how to show them how this works. And everybody drop 100 in the chat box if you understand the list of 100 to be made, how to make it after this call. One thing I would highly encourage is having that list of 100 sent over, put into position so that it's ready. What are we at? 3:29. This is great. I'm still under 30 minutes. Yes, Tia. Yes. Okay. Step number 2, the Alpha Society app. Does everybody have access to the Alpha Society app or website? Drop a 2 if you're good there. If not, we'll help you with the code or whatnot. I need you all to go inside of there and watch the Becoming a Marketing Partner video right here. Watch all of these videos and the Leadership Essentials. These videos are like the cheat code to understanding this industry. This industry may look a little vast, it may look big right now, but we simplify it into understanding terms inside of these videos to make it make sense for you. They're literally shorter than 10 minutes each, and I'm going to show you one now. Let me know if y'all can hear this.
Welcome back, guys, to another great lesson. Today, we're going to go over one of my favorite trainings, which is the 4-step invite. This skill right here has allowed me to grow my business in ways that you guys could never imagine. Because at the end of the day, this business is all about how many eyes can you get to see what it is that you do. So grab your pens and papers, get ready, because I'm going to cover some valuable information that can really help you elevate your business here within the next couple of months and years. Okay, so let's get right into it. So the introduction, understand, guys, that during your journey, you're going to make a lot of connections. You're going to meet a lot of people. Okay, and the purpose of when you make these connections is you want to build rapport, you want to build trust, and you're going to be connecting with all types of people: Uber drivers, the people that serve you your coffee, waiters, friends, family, so many different people all around the world. Okay, and the beauty of it is that once you connect with these people, a lot of people usually ask a question: hey, what is it that you do? Okay, you're gonna know what they do, they're gonna ask you what you do. And once those things happen, naturally people tend to show interest in what it is that you do, because they've never heard of someone who does digital entrepreneurship, makes money online, and so on and so forth. So at that moment, it's the perfect time for you to practice the 4-step invite on them. Okay, and that's what I'm going to be covering here today: how to 4-step invite somebody. Now I'm going to be going back slide to slide so I can show you guys examples of step 1 through 4 so that you guys can see it here with me. Okay, so stay with me. So first step to the 4-step invite is breaking the ice. Okay, breaking the ice is as simple as it comes, because all you're going to be doing, as you guys can see right here, is you're going to be asking simple questions like, hey, how are you? How's the family? How's work? Okay, let's say I'm connecting with somebody that I once went to school with. Okay, and let's say they have shown interest in my business through Instagram, and they're like, hey, I want to know more about what it is that you got going on. I'll schedule a phone call with them, and I'll eventually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect with them, obviously, right? And I'm going to jump on the call with them. Hey, bro, how are you, man? How's everything going? how's the family, how's work, right? I'm just breaking the ice, because the last thing I want to do is jump on a call with them and be like, hey, what's up, bro? You want to know about my new business? No, right? So I want to break the ice a little bit, right? So that's step one, okay? Step two is clear the schedule. Now, what do I mean by clear the schedule? Based off of when you plan on either doing that event or whether you plan on doing that call will determine on what day or what time you're going to clear their schedule. So as the example that we have here, it says, I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now. I have to jump on this team call, but what are you doing tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time? Okay, what are you doing tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time? That's clearing the schedule, okay? So it's all going to be based off when the call is going to happen. Is the call happening tonight? Is the call happening in a couple of days? Or it may even be an event. You can use the 4-step invite to events as well. So let's say the event was in a couple of days. Let's say today is Monday and the event is on Thursday at 8 o'clock. I'm going to call up my friend. Let's say his name is Jay. And I'll be like, hey, Jay, what are you doing Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time? Okay, I'm clearing their schedule. Now, I know you guys see that I use the statement, I'm in a little bit of a hurry. Now, some people like to use this, some people don't. Now, the reason why I use it is because I like to be in and out with these conversations when I invite somebody. And the be in a hurry statement, what it helps you do is just in case they try to ask you too many questions or they want to know more or can you tell them more, what I usually do is, hey, remember I told you I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now. I got to jump on this call, but I'd rather show you than tell you, because remember, I want them to see the presentation. I don't want to tell them everything about the opportunity that I'm a part of on the phone call. I want to show them in the presentation at the event, okay? So step two is clear the schedule. Now, as you guys know, step one and step two is very easy. Everybody can call somebody and break the ice with them. Hey, how are you? How's the family? How's work? Step two, clear the schedule. Hey, what are you doing tonight at 9 o'clock? Now, step three, in my opinion, is the most important step out of them all, okay? Because here's where you're gonna add value, which means you're gonna tell them, what the call is gonna be about or what the event is gonna be about. You're gonna compliment them so that you can put their defense down, because you don't want them to think that you're selling them something. You just want them to know that you're sharing something with them and you wanna confirm that they're good for it. Now, here's how that looks like, okay? Let's say we were doing a call tonight, okay? I've cleared their schedule. They told me, hey, I asked them, hey, what are you doing tonight at 9 o'clock? They said nothing. Cool. What I'm going to let them know is, hey, look, my business partner and I are hosting a private call teaching people how to make money online through trading and investing in the financial markets. Boom, that's adding value. I just told them what we're doing. We're hosting a private call teaching people how to make money online through trading and investing in the financial markets. That's the first part, all right? Remember, I got to add value. Now I got to compliment them, okay? Now, the reason for the compliment is because that's going to put their defense down. So I'm going to compliment them. I'm going to be like, look, the reason why I'm reaching out to you, Jay, is because...
All right, drop a three. How we feel about that information? Good stew from Neno. And I don't want to play it too long. I know we all have access to these videos, but drop a three if y'all understand how simple the invite can be. Literally getting in and out with the information so people have an understanding and we go from there. Same thing with the PS3. Okay, the PS3 method, and the woman who runs this video on Alpha Society, stellar. I wish I could learn from her more. But the PS3 video literally shows you the importance of leveraging a third party, kind of how we talked about Rod and his homie from the basketball court, how to utilize this to get people in your business. I want you all to understand this. You don't have to know it all for people to do this with you. And drop a two if you realize that. For me, I felt like I had to know everything. I had to answer every question. I had to be the best. And I realized sometimes people just need to know that you believe it and they can borrow your belief for them to get started. I always think back to kindergarten. I didn't go graduate from kindergarten first and then come back and get the rest of my class. We all sat beside each other in the same seats every single day. And then when it was time to matriculate, we all graduated at once. Why don't we carry that mentality with this too? Why don't we all sit and learn together, get better together, cheat off each other as needed, copy as we go, and then when it's time to graduate, we all elevate. What's the mentality of, oh, I gotta go first, I gotta be the example. Whoa. Jackie Robinson did his portion. Now we can work together to make this happen. The last thing I want us to understand is learning how to tell your story. Drop a one if you understand people are more interested in why you do what you do than what it is that you do. I had somebody ask me the other day, why did you choose trading? I said, first of all, trading chose me. But I told them, I said, my desire wasn't to be a Wall Street journal trader. My desire was to have the freedom to travel when I want, live when I want, and spend time with my family. This was just the quickest avenue to get me to that. It's not what I chose, it's the reason that I chose it that people are attracted to my brand. So that's one good question to ask yourself today. Why do you do this? Identify your background. Where did you start? What do you do right now? Right? I know you're a police officer. You protect people for a living. You're like a living stop loss. You protect people from falling into deficit or anything that could danger them. But how did you know you wanted to do that? Okay, when you found out about this information, what is this currently doing for you? Well, right now I'm a little new into the trading, but it's showing me a little bit of what this freedom thing looks like. It's allowing me to make some money on my phone, spend more time with my daughter, have a little bit more fun, take more family trips. Okay, in my current situation, what are some things you want to change? Right now, I want to have a little more flexibility with my bills. I want to be able to do a little bit more of what I want to do and less of what I'm told to do. I want to be able to call the shots fully in my life, not just part time. Lastly, where will this take you? Now that I'm taking this investing thing seriously, I plan to have income and use it how I feel. I plan for when I make money, the first thing I do not to be to worry about bills, but to worry about investing back into myself and then using another portion for my bills. I want to be the first decision I make when I get paid, not debt, not the things that have been behind me. With this, I plan on taking things a little bit farther. I plan on having this vacation coming forward, putting my child in this type of schools, this type of education, and things going a little bit farther. That's my story, and that's what I do this for. Drop a 4 if you understand the power of storytelling. Once you learn your story, you'll start telling it more and more. If you knew, my mentor always told me this, if you knew the power of your story, you would tell it more often. So, with that being said, that's pretty much the gist of what we're covering here in Intro to Affiliate, how things look. The only steps going forward from here is the 30-day game plan checklist. And we're going to get this updated really quickly. But we have to make sure, and that most of you all are already acclimated in the system, learning about the kids, finishing that list of 100. Once that's completed and sent, we'll go ahead and set up your first meeting. We'll start teaching the invite. We'll go over the story, finish those alpha modules so you have a better understanding. And from there, we'll take things just a little bit higher. If anybody needs a copy of the compensation plan, please utilize this, take a screenshot. But I just want us to have an understanding of where things can go. You can waive the monthly. You can make $700 a month. You can make $10,000 on a monthly recurring basis, or you can make 6 figures on a weekly basis. There's no limitation to the impact you can have inside of this industry. The only difference is you. So once you make that deciding factor, once you decide that once something changes, everything changes, we'll be happy to put you in a pipeline, help you with understanding, and give you what's required to take this higher than ever before. So that being said, somebody said, get me off this job. Gladly. Gladly. I love to help people quit. But with that being said, I appreciate you all taking the time to be here. We knocked this out in 40 minutes, record timing. Hope you all got some understanding and clarity. Any questions, please text, reach out. We do have Leadership Society trainings on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern to reinforce these concepts and information. But I look forward to seeing you all make your first 6 figures inside of this industry. And that 6 figures take you higher than ever before. So with that being said, I'll see you at the highest point, which is the top, because the bottom is far, far too crowded. But one thing myself, Samaya, Mark, and all the leaders on this call, even Q, would never do is look down on any of you all unless we're willing to help you up. Take care. See you soon.